What's up, everybody? Welcome to Showtime's Show and Tell. This is the first episode, so I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what's going on. Right here behind me, as you can see, I got a big screen. On this big screen, I will be taking you through the fight that will be happening in just a few days. Usyk versus Fury 2. Now, before we get into everything, let me just tell you a little bit about what I like most about this fight. The fact that this is a rematch, okay? We have a full 12 rounds that we can look at from the first fight, and we have a great premonition of what the second fight is gonna look like. Beyond that, both these guys have the ability to make very subtle adjustments, do some things just a little bit differently to make sure that that second outcome either is or isn't what the other one would expect it to be. So, all that being said, I'm super excited to bring this to you guys. We're gonna go through a few sequences, a few big moments in the fight. And what I really wanna do is break down those little moments, those little sequences, show you some things you may not have seen, give you more enlightenment on the things that you did see. And hopefully this will help you determine who's gonna win this rematch. The first clip we have naturally is the beginning of the fight. I believe the beginning of the fight, a lot can be done in the first 30 to 60 seconds of a fight. As we see when this fight begins, Tyson Fury runs to the middle of the ring. And I really like that about Tyson Fury. But you also see Oleksandr Usyk meet him right there, and the fight literally just begins. You see Oleksandr Usyk, a lot of feints, a lot of movement, but notice that he's really trying to set up a left hand to the body. Why is he trying to set up that left hand to the body? Because he knows that eventually I can bring something to the top. So we see Oleksandr Usyk throw 3 or 4 straight lefts to the body, gets his foot on the outside so that he can get a great angle on that punch, like that right there. And I think that that was really Oleksandr Usyk's way of trying to set the tone, implementing his game plan of trying to land straight lefts, whether it was to the body, to the chest, or even to the chin, forehead of Tyson Fury. And what we saw on Tyson Fury's behalf, he was really reading Oleksandr Usyk. What do you want to do? What's tonight going to be about? And I think he was trying to control Oleksandr with the jabs as well. A lot of feints from both these guys. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But a very big moment happens just in the first round, something that we see a little later in the fight. So let's get to this second clip. The second clip is actually the first overhand left that lands from Oleksandr Usyk. We got it in slow motion too. He paused, and he wings it right around the gloves of Tyson Fury. The other thing I want to point out about this, the positioning of Tyson Fury, all the way wrong. But when you're a tall, long fighter, pulling back like this usually gets you out of the way of what's coming at you. But for this one, Oleksandr Usyk, a little bit faster, I think, than Tyson Fury gave him credit for in that moment. And that was a moment where we saw a big overhand left land, but it's early in the fight. The very first round. In the first round, that punch may not have significant impact. We will see later on in this clip where everything that I'm doing right here, we'll see that same punch land, and y'all already know what happens. Let's move forward to the next clip. The Southpaw versus the Orthodox. Now, we already know that we have a very big Tyson Fury standing across from a smaller Oleksandr Usyk. Tyson Fury, an Orthodox fighter, as we know, and then, of course, Oleksandr Usyk, the Southpaw. The thing we talk about the thing we need to acknowledge when we talk about styles making fights, everything, there's contrast in everything. And for this fight specifically, the Southpaw and the Orthodox, I really do think made the first fight what it was, and is gonna make the second fight what it is. We always talk about standing on the outside of that foot, and I'm actually gonna get close for this one because I really like what Oleksandr Usyk was able to do right here, and he's gonna do it consistently through this fight. He's able to land a straight left right here. If we run that one more time, let's run it one more time. He lands a straight left right here, but I want you guys to pay attention to the feet of Oleksandr Usyk. He steps to the outside. Now I'm gonna come close to you guys and show you what it is. Okay, so Orthodox against Orthodox. The right hand lands just like this. When you have a southpaw against you, you step to the outside. Now you have the angle on that punch, right? Same thing for Oleksandr Usyk. And what we saw with the feet right there, as he stepped forward, he stepped to the outside so that he could line up that straight left perfectly. That's how that punch landed. I know a lot of you guys may even already know that, but I want you to know, we always hear the battle of the feet when we talk about an orthodox fighter going against a southpaw. That's what it is. It's all about angles. It's all about technique. Right there, Oleksandr Usyk did it perfectly. I don't know too many southpaws that can do it as well as Oleksandr Usyk. Now, one of the most important things when you are in the ring with Tyson Fury is that you stay focused. He can do anything to get you off your game, whether it's playing to the crowd, poking you with that jab hand, the feints that he likes to use. We'll get to the feints in just a little bit. But right here, we'll see a moment where Tyson Fury is basically trying to lure Oleksandr Usyk into the corner. I didn't really know what this was going to be. If this was going to be, I'm waiting to rip off a combination or whatever the case may be. But as he tries to pull as Tyson Fury tries to pull Oleksandr Usyk in, Alexander's he's smart. And he knows this is not the right position that I need to be in the corners and on the ropes against Tyson Fury, who's very slippery, very big, but can move that big old body and make you miss. You don't want to get caught there, you know? So we'll see right here in this clip, talk about being focused. Tyson Fury backs into the corner. Tyson Fury feinting, and then here he goes, doing his work. What I really like about that moment, though, is the fact that Oleksandr was right there in front of him, saw him start to play around, and he decided to take some steps back. I'm not going to give you what you want. I'm not going to give you what you need. Tyson Fury likes to be comfortable. He likes to have fun. He likes to enjoy being in the ring. The more you can pull him away from enjoying it, the better chance you have of pulling him away from a win. And right there we see a fine example of Oleksandr Usyk staying focused, staying on the game plan, and not getting lured in to the tactics of a very smart and very fun to watch Tyson Fury. Let's get to the next clip. Both these guys, masters at feints. I was told by Freddie Roach, feinting is a lost art. Here, these two guys, it ain't a lost art. They both use head feints, hand feints, body feints. Oleksandr with the legs, he's using feints in and out with the leg feints, foot feints. The feints, I think, are going to be very important for both these guys. It's a part of their rhythm, it's a part of their flow, it's a part of their technique, and that's why we see both of them so much. Look at this, hand feints, foot feints. Look at that, the head feint. These guys, listen, it's not, I don't know what I want to do. It's I'm trying to force you to do what I need you to do. And that's why we get so many feints from both these guys. Look at that. And I love how Tyson Fury, he just slides off. He can see it's just nothing but feinting. No need to react. Just keep sliding, keep moving. And then on the other side, you got Oleksandr Usyk trying to feint him in position, trying to get him off his game, trying to make him force him into a bad position and make the wrong move. Doesn't happen very often to either of these guys because they're so good at their craft. A part of their craft is the feints. They're both masters of the feints. Look forward to seeing feint after feint in this second fight. I think because both these guys were able to land so many significant punches, they're going to be trying to utilize those feints even more in this rematch to set up the cleanest shot that will win them the round. I think this second fight is going to be about winning rounds, not about the knockout, not about completely conquering your guy every single round. It's going to be about moments and who can land the perfect shot to win that round, and it all revolves around those feints. Both those guys are masters at the feints. On to the body work. First, we'll go to Oleksandr Usyk. The shorter guy, I think it is somewhat of a misconception that because you're a short fighter or the shorter fighter, you have to get to the body. That's not always the case. And as we can see, the master work that Oleksandr Usyk did wasn't even to the body. It was actually to the head. The biggest punch landed in the fight that night was to the head. But this is something that has to change for Oleksandr Usyk. He landed that big punch late in the fight. He landed quite a few straight lefts throughout the course of the fight. If he's going to the body more, he may have a better chance of landing that punch, not in the 9th round, but maybe closer to the 5th or the 6th or the 7th round. He's facing a Tyson Fury that has a lot of mileage on him, something that I think most of us don't recognize or don't acknowledge. There's a lot of mileage on Tyson Fury. What do you do with someone who's got mileage on them? You pull that air out of them. That starts right here with the body. So let's see Oleksandr Usyk's body attack. There was not enough of that throughout the course of the fight. We got a really short clip of Oleksandr Usyk going to the body of Fury, and this is simply because the body attack, it was there. Okay, I'm not gonna say it wasn't there. It just wasn't enough. 2 times, 3 times as much he needs to be going to the body in this second fight. You pull it out of Tyson Fury. With Tyson, you kind of have to, you got to do everything to Tyson Fury. You won't break him down mentally, but if you're at least touching him consistently everywhere, he has to acknowledge what's happening, and that pulls him away from feeling like at any point I'm going to turn this fight around. You know, so Oleksandr Usyk has to get to Tyson Fury's body 2 times, if not 3 times as much as he did in the first fight. Now, we'll take a look at Tyson Fury's work to Usyk's body. He did, actually, the taller guy goes to the shorter guy's body more, and that confirms and supports what I said. Just because you're the shorter fighter doesn't mean that chopping down a tree, that's the only way you chop it down. You got the bigger man going to the body of Oleksandr Usyk, and I think that this is something that they knew, that Oleksandr Usyk doesn't like the body work too much. We could see every time, as we get to the clip, we could see every time Fury went to his body, it had some significant impact. Like that right there, that Tyson Fury went to the body, those were big moments. We need to see more of that from both guys. Now listen, okay? Tyson got clocked in the 9th round. If you don't want to get clocked again like that, you better go to Tyson. You better go to Oleksandr Usyk's body. You got to go to his body. You got to take some steam off of his shots. That way, later in the fight, you're the man with mileage on you, all right? Who's going to be stronger in the fight? Who's going to be stronger at the end? Not the guy who has a lot of mileage on him. Trust me and believe me when I tell you this. In order for Tyson Fury to manage this fight, come out on top at the end, I think one of the main focal points of this fight, and we should see this, I would be willing to bet this, that he's more aggressive and he goes to the body much more. We have a clip of Fury walking down Oleksandr Usyk, something we didn't see enough of in the first fight. Again, something you don't see often. You don't often see the taller guy walking down the shorter guy, but it works. It's effective. He's that big, he's that strong, and he can get that done. I want to see, let me try this one, right? So I want to see Tyson Fury be more aggressive. But upon being aggressive, you put yourself in harm's way. That's number 1. Number 2, remember, that's also your output, okay? You're trying to pull out what Usyk has, but upon doing that, your output, you got to put something into it, and that might pull something out of Fury himself while trying to pull it out of Usyk. So this fight, man, I really love this fight because there's a lot of fine lines and everything that's going to go on in this rematch. I think both guys need to go to the body more. For Usyk, you run the risk of being in line for an uppercut. We saw plenty of uppercuts land through the course of this fight. For Tyson Fury, I didn't pull any uppercut moments, but we do know that the uppercut is there, especially with him being the shorter guy. On top of that, Tyson Fury being very smart, very accurate, and knowing when to throw the right punch. The uppercut is another punch that I didn't pull for this, but a punch that would be very vital for Tyson Fury. Both these guys need to get to the body more. See what the adjustment looks like from that perspective. One of the techniques I think most of us expected to see in the first fight that we didn't see a lot of was Tyson Fury laying his body weight on Oleksandr Usyk. We know how big Tyson Fury is, and one of the things said most about this first fight is Oleksandr Usyk too small for Tyson Fury? Well, the other side of that is Tyson Fury has to utilize his size. He did that by using his range and his distance. And we saw some moments of him actually grabbing Oleksandr Usyk, trying to apply his body weight onto Oleksandr Usyk. But for the majority of the first fight, we did not see that. I believe it's because Oleksandr Usyk does not stay in one place. A lot of feints, a lot of foot movement, and he's always moving. He's always on the move. And when you got something like that that's on the move, imagine the kind of energy you have to exert to get get close to that moving object, grab that moving object, and actually physically make that moving object stop. It's harder than it seems, and I think that that's one of the main reasons why we didn't see a lot of that through the course of the fight. I counted about 3 moments of Tyson Fury putting his body weight, intentionally trying to put his body weight, intentionally trying to grab and, for the sake of words, manhandle, stop the movement of Oleksandr Usyk. In this rematch, again, another way to wear down your opponent is putting that big body on that little body. It would be in the best interest of Tyson Fury to try to put that body weight, apply that body weight on Oleksandr Usyk. Like I said before, easier said than done. I believe that's why we didn't see a lot of it. The other side of that too, keep in mind, in order to do that, in order to physically put your body weight on a guy, you have to exert energy to get them, exert energy to get close to them, to actually grab them, and actually hold them and start to apply that weight. So it's a tall ask for the tall man Fury, putting his body weight on the smaller man Usyk, something that I believe can be done, but we will see. So as we get to probably the biggest moment of this fight, I pointed this out early in the fight. Early in the fight, we see Tyson Fury pulling straight back, doing what usually works against most of the guys that he gets in the ring with. He's tall enough, he's long enough, and usually when you extend those hands, you keep your opponent at bay. But it didn't work early in the fight for Tyson Fury, and right here we see a moment where he's got a little lax on the ropes, and the worst thing that could ever happen did happen. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy this clip because this was probably one of the best moments of the fight. And I also want to point out a few moments where our dear ref right there, Mark, could have jumped in and possibly stopped this fight. I'll say there it is right there. The ropes cannot save you. If you get punched and you go into the ropes, that is considered a knockdown. Right there, that could have been a knockdown. And right there, that's the moment where ref says that he saw Tyson's hand reach and touch the bottom rope, and that was what he considered to be a knockdown. I believe the ref did a fantastic job of trying to maneuver around this fight. Small guy, 2 big men. Tall task for him. I thought he handled it brilliantly. I felt like there were 2 or 3 moments where he could have called a knockdown. He didn't. He finally called the knockdown. He gave Tyson Fury a rest. People around the world say that the refs are always looking out for Tyson Fury. Listen, whether they're looking out for Tyson Fury or not, with Deontay Wilder, we got 3 fantastic fights because he was able to get up. This fight right here, we got a fantastic ending to the heavyweight undisputed championship of the world because he was able to withstand a lot of heat that Oleksandr Usyk was bringing. I don't expect that same result in a rematch against Oleksandr Usyk. However, I can see a world where Tyson Fury feels as if being aggressive against this smaller man is a necessity. Expect Tyson Fury to be more aggressive in this second fight than he was in the first. Another thing, just to support that, anytime he went at Oleksandr Usyk, he made Usyk retreat. Getting to that body made Usyk, that changed the complexion of Oleksandr Usyk anytime he went to the body. So I feel like, a lot like I did, they're going to look at some of these finer details in this fight. They're going to see that being aggressive against Oleksandr Usyk might be in the best interest and expect them to come in a little bit different. That overhand left, it landed in the 9th round for Oleksandr Usyk. Expect Usyk to be just as fast as he was the first fight. Expect him to be in that in and out. A lot of feints, both guys, a lot of feints. But expect Oleksandr Usyk to go to the body more, okay? Going to the body more is going to pull more out of Tyson Fury, and that overhand left that landed in the 9th round, that overhand left might land a little sooner. So, the thing that everybody wants to know, Sean, who do you think is going to win this fight? Yeah, it's a great question. I don't know. It's crazy. You can't bet against either guy, which it's crazy. Tyson Fury won the first half of this first fight. Might have dropped the first and the second round of the first fight. And then it was all Usyk after that 9th round, big left hand. All that being said, I mean, it was very close throughout the entire fight. Who do you expect to win this second fight? We've seen Tyson Fury make the adjustments. We've seen Tyson Fury come to the ring and be a different guy, a different animal. He's that guy that does whatever it takes. We hear that he's more focused than ever. We see that he's slimmed down. Body looks great. I hear he's coming into the ring a little heavier, which means he may come into the ring with the same tactics he did against Deontay Wilder in the second fight. He's got a different beast in front of him. Oleksandr Usyk can truly box, can truly use his feet, can truly use a jab, and that Southpaw stance, and the list goes on. You know, the thing I've seen about Oleksandr Usyk, man, is just his greatness. You cannot deny his greatness. This is really hard for me to pick. I'm going to go with Oleksandr Usyk, and I'm going to tell you why. I feel like, I'm not going to say Tyson Fury is damaged goods. I'm not saying that. But Tyson Fury has been around this block so many times in the car crashes that he's had along the way. These are too many car crashes. I'm willing to bet that Tyson Fury has been in too many car crashes, and enough's enough. I see this fight going the distance, a lot like the first fight. I see Oleksandr Usyk winning this rematch. All right, y'all, this was the first episode of Showtime Show and Tell. I just showed y'all, I just told y'all how this second fight is going to play out. Now, your job is to get in front of a TV screen December 21st. Make sure you're live in color, ready to watch what happens. First fight I feel was the fight of the year. This second one right here, definitely fight of the year. You guys enjoy. This is the PorterWay. Showtime's Show and Tell, Episode 1, brought to you by Radiant Technologies.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Microsoft Theater here in downtown Los Angeles, brought to you by Shawn Porter Promotions.